It's time for our main event here on night 2 of our 9-year YouTube anniversary. And I, Chef Alex Cardinale, am going to make my surprise dish. It's time to reveal what the surprise dish is that I'm going to be making. And it's a perfect dish for this time of year. I think you're going to like it. It is a delicious soup. I love homemade soups, and I'm going to show you how to make a homemade soup that has 1, 2, 3, 4 ingredients and seasonings. As you guys know, I'm Italian and I love pasta. So therefore, right here, right now, we are going to make a homemade, delicious tortellini soup that is quick, very easy to make, very delicious, and very affordable. It has protein, pasta, which is a starch, and some vegetables in it. So, let's go over the ingredients. The liquid for our sauce is going to be 3 containers of chicken broth. That's going to add some flavor. Then we're going to need some bags of tortellini. And I'm just going to be using regular cheese tortellini. And then for our protein, I'm going to use some broccoli rabe and Romano cheese sausage, as well as mild Italian sausage. But if you don't like sausage, you could do chicken, meatballs, miniature meatballs, any kind of meat you like. And then for the vegetables, we're going to use a simple spinach. I love spinach. Spinach is a great green vegetable for you. So that is everything. Of course, salt and pepper and some seasoning. This is probably a 30-minute dish, so it's very quick, very easy, and very delicious. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to need to chop up these sausages. So, I just took them out of the freezer, but that's perfect because it'll be easy to slice them. So now I'm going to show you how to slice them, and then we'll head on over to the stove and make our delicious tortellini soup. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do for our tortellini soup is we got our frozen mild Italian sausage, and we're going to chop them up into little circles. And I found the very easiest way to do that is when they're still frozen, because otherwise you'll be cutting through the peels and stuff, and we don't want that. So let me try to get this off. There we go. So we just take our knife here and we just slice right through. There we go. Perfect. And this is perfect for a soup. Repeat that. I should have chosen a sharper knife, that's alright. There we go. So we're going to do that for all the sausages. So remember, I'm using mild Italian sausage and also broccoli rabe and Romano cheese, a special kind of sausage that Publix had. So we'll use that as well. Okay.
Including chokeholds, tasers, and police dogs. Police accused of routinely abusing no-gun warrants, like the one used the night Breonna Taylor was shot.
So there we go.
Also tonight, the Justice Department revealing it is now launching a review into the Memphis Police Department following the horrific police beating death of Tyree Nichols.
Perfect.
On the standing by. The horrific fight breaking out on a plane that flight from Dallas to Phoenix before it could even take off, with other passengers witnessing
Alright, so I'm going to finish these mild sausage and we'll be right back. Alright, so we've got our mild Italian sausage done. Now we're going to go ahead and chop up our broccoli rabe and romano sausages. They have some nice green there. That's the broccoli rabe. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing we did with the mild sausage. Okay. So this is going to be a good soup packed with protein, pasta, chicken broth, and vegetables. You could peel off the case if you want. Like this part right here, you can peel that off if you don't like it on sausage. But you would only be able to do that with a frozen sausage, which is another benefit of using this to chop up sausage. This is the added benefit of chopping up frozen sausage, is you can peel the cases off. You can't do that with fresh, because if you try to cut it, it will just fall apart like ground beef. So if you're making lasagna and you don't want the cases on, just chop up frozen sausage. Alright, so now you see me chopped up both sausages. Let's get ready to make the soup. Alright, we're ready to make our tortellini sausage spinach soup. So I've got my pan here, and I've got it on high heat just to get the broth going. We're going to add in all of our chicken broth. So we'll finish off this can first. There's some in there. Then we'll get in our other bottles here. Hopefully you should get enough liquid. It should be. Alright, we got 2 more to go. Or 1 more to go, actually. Alright. Alright, perfect. So we got all of our liquid in there. Now, if you wanted to add more liquid and you didn't have any more broth, you could just melt some chicken bouillon cubes in water. But I think this is enough liquid. So we've got our liquid. We're going to let that heat up for 3 or 4 minutes. And then we're going to add our sausage. The sausage is the longest part of making this soup. The sausage will take about a half hour. So let's add in our seasoning. We are going to add some, we're going to add some Italian seasoning, just a few pinches. Alright, that is good. And we're also going to add in some garlic and pepper seasoning. And now we'll let this heat up and then we'll add our sausage. Perfect. We'll give that a good stir and let it heat up. And then once the sausage is fully cooked after 30 minutes, all we have to do is add the tortellini and the spinach and let that cook for about 3 or 4 minutes. And this soup will be ready to serve. So we'll see you in about 4 minutes when we're ready to add our sausage. Alright, our broth is nice and warm. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to cook our longest product that takes to cook. And that is our sausage. So let's get all of our sausage in there. Try not to splash. That's why I'm using such a big stock pot, is so no splashes when I add stuff in there. Alright, so there's all the sausage. So we're going to let the sausage cook for about 30 minutes or until it's fully cooked. And the sausage is fully cooked when it's nice grayish to a gray-brown color. So that'll take about 30 minutes to cook. And then once the sausage is cooked, we can add in our final two ingredients, which are our tortellinis and our spinach. So we'll be back in about a half hour. Alright, so now we're ready to add our last ingredients, which are going to cook pretty quick. First we'll add our spinach. I love spinach, especially in a soup. So in goes 2 bags of spinach. And remember, spinach wilts down to just about nothing when it cooks. So that's why I'm going to put 2 bags in there. It's already wilting right now. So you could also add more spinach, but I think 2 bags is enough. So we're just going to push it down. And don't worry, it's going to wilt down to about 1 bag worth almost. But it's going to be delicious. I love spinach. So we'll get that a good mix. God, it smells good. Alright, perfect. It's almost like a tortellini wedding soup, but there's not that much vegetables in here, so it wouldn't be traditional. But if you added onion, celery, mirepoix, and other stuff, it could be like a tortellini wedding soup. Alright, so now we're going to add in our tortellini. Once the spinach is in there, the tortellini, the star of the soup, goes in. I guess the tortellini and sausage are the stars of this. So there's 1 bag. And goes our second bag. And the reason I'm cooking a lot is because 7 people are going to be eating this. So if you only have a few people, then obviously you wouldn't use as much unless you want leftovers. Okay, and the last bag. And we'll stir that in. And this will probably take about another 5 minutes at most to cook. Because at this point we're just heating up and cooking the tortellini. It smells beautiful in here. Alright, so all of our ingredients are in there, and now we're going to let it cook. And it looks delicious. And it smells good too. So we'll let that go for 5 minutes, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, well, there you have it. Our tortellini spinach sausage soup is done. I hope you give this recipe a try. It smells amazing. I'm going to go ahead and have my dinner. And I hope you enjoyed the 9-year YouTube anniversary. And thank you for watching me make my special dish, spinach tortellini soup. Give it a try. Serve this with some Parmesan cheese and some bread, and you've got a great soup for dinner.